Today we will start with part 6 of the Indus Valley Civilization. Part 6, Trade and Seals. I would suggest you read along with me. The Harappan people had no idea of the term money. Indus Valley traders did not use money, so they probably exchanged goods. They might swap 2 sacks of wheat for 1 basket of minerals. This is known as the barter system or the exchange system. Trade focused on importing, that is, getting things like minerals from Iran and Afghanistan, lead and copper from other parts of India, jade from China, and cedar wood, which was floated down rivers from the Himalayas and Kashmir. Other traded goods included terracotta pots, gold, silver, metal, beads, flints for making tools, seashells, pearls, that is moti, and colored gemstones. While digging, the archaeologists discovered flat pieces of stone with carved writings into them. At first, they were confused, but then they realized these stones were seals. Over 3,500 have been found so far. The Indus traders might have used seals like labels or stamps to show who owned, say, a sack of grain or that the correct city tax had been paid. Now, what is city tax? City tax is usually the tax that was levied at that time. Levied is लगाया गया था at that time by the people of a city on the traders, giving them the right to trade, or on the people who entered the city. It was an entrance kind of a tax also. So various taxes came under this. What did the Indus seals look like? The seals were usually square in shape and were made of satite stone. It is a green or brown colored stone. It is also known as the soapstone. They were also sometimes made of gold or ivory, which is hathi dant. Lots of seals have pictures of animals on them, including elephants, rhinoceros, tigers, and fish-eating crocodiles. Another famous animal was the unicorn. I hope you know what a unicorn is. Unicorn is a mythical creature. It doesn't actually exist. Mythical means it is there in the stories. It is shaped like a horse and it has wings and there's a horn on its forehead. Human shapes were also engraved on them. Engraved क्या होता है? गोदना जिसे कहते हैं. When you engrave something, you make an impression of a particular thing, that is engraving. Usually something was written on the top of the seals, but what was written on them we are yet to find out. So these are some of the images of the seals that were found in the Indus Valley Civilization. If you look closely, you will see that there is a vixen. There seems to be a unicorn. There is a man who is fighting, I think, 2 tigers. There seems to be a rhinoceros, an elephant, and again a tiger, a man, and so many other things that were made on these seals. Now these seals do not have pictures of any animals, but something has been written on it. These images are basically the script of the Indus Valley people. We are yet to decipher it. We will take this up in the next module. There is still much to be learned about this civilization. Now watch this video to understand some other things the Harappans traded in. Here is a list of words that you may hear in the video. Lonesome, that is alone. Sneaky. Sneaky is clever, but it is not clever in a good way. To do something in an underhand way. Kudos, that is when you congratulate someone for something that they have done. Prototype is an earlier model of any object. Norm is the rule or the tradition. Exploiting, to take advantage of something. So now let us watch this video. Please watch it carefully. You can watch it as many times as you need. Many questions in the quiz are from this particular video.
Sure. There is one stone seal that's been found at Mohenjo-Daro that may hint towards something like a deity. It's an image of a seated man decked out in amazing jewelry with a horned headdress surrounded by animals. There have been tons of interpretations about who this seal might represent, which could actually be enough in its own right to make a separate video on it if you guys want. But he is seen as a possible horned deity, a master of animals, and possibly a proto-Shiva deity from the Hindu tradition. One thing we do know for certain, they loved water, and I wouldn't be surprised if water played a big role in their spiritual life as well. Some scholars agree that the Great Bath at Mohenjo-Daro would have been used as some sort of ritual bath for religious purification. The Harappans didn't just hang out on their lonesome, though. They went everywhere to trade their goods. They traded locally with surrounding hunter-gatherers, which was very much not the norm for civilizations at the time. But they probably used nomadic people like this to move goods in between cities. Of course, they didn't just stop at the borders of the Indian subcontinent. They traded along the Arabian Gulf, in Mesopotamia, Central Asia, and Iran. Harappan merchants are mentioned in Mesopotamian writings under the name Malua. The goods that were imported from the Indus Valley were precious stones like carnelian and lapis lazuli, metals like gold and silver and copper. Then there was woven cotton, timber, ebony, ivory, tortoise shells, chickens, peacocks, cats, dogs, buffaloes, monkeys, and even Indian cats called golem, which might have been tigers. Although Harappan merchants were mentioned in Mesopotamia, and we found evidence for Indus trade all over the place, there isn't any evidence for the Mesopotamians ever having traveled to the Harappans. The Harappans were probably better merchants and sailors, but there are also very few Mesopotamian artifacts found along the Indus. So if that's the case, then what exactly were the Harappans trading for? It was possibly mostly just luxury and manufactured goods. Maybe all the Harappans wanted to do was just trade to support their very luxurious bathing lifestyle. There's even evidence of the Harappans exploiting goods solely for the purpose of trade and not even their own personal use. The Harappan site of Shortagai in modern-day Afghanistan might have been operated as a colony to monopolize lapis lazuli mines. The Harappans didn't really care so much for this precious stone, but they knew the value that others had placed on it, so they used it almost exclusively for export, which is very